manifestation that had walked across my bed as a child. This took place around 7 years old, and we're going to start it off as me and my brother and my mom. We're all laying kind of in the same bed. We were kind of, like, Dad worked at night, so everybody kind of bundled up with Mom, you know. And I was laying in the middle of the bed, and my brother was laying on the far side. So if you switch, it would be your left. Mom closest to the door, and the door was always cracked open, and the bathroom light was always left on, so that way there was always like a little light shining into our room. Well, one night my brother got up and walked across the foot of the bed and went into the bathroom, and then he started playing with the water. You could hear it splish and splash, and I don't know what he was doing in there, but yeah, he was in there enjoying himself, giggling and stuff. And then about 5 minutes later, he came back, laid down, and went back to sleep. So, as siblings do, we plot. I figured the next night, when he got up to play in the bathroom, I would scare him. So, I waited the next night, and we're all in there, and waited and waited, and then I seen him get up from his side of the bed and walk across the foot of the bed and go into the light, and I waited and listened. No water's coming on. I don't hear any noises, giggles, anything. And so as I stopped and was confused, I heard this big loud snore come from the left side of me, which made me jump. And my brother was still laying in the bed. Like, he was sound asleep, snoring, all this. At that moment, my brain started processing what I seen. And what I seen was this pure white young lady with long hair walk across the foot of the bed. She didn't seem like she didn't seem dangerous. Like, she just wanted to see me. Wanted me to see her. And I was scared because at the time I didn't know what it was, who it was, what was going on. So I didn't sleep the rest of the night, by the way, guys. I waited till Mom got up in the morning, and I told her what happened, what I seen. Like, even her eyes were pure white, like the whole thing. But it was solid white. And my family was pretty happy because, like, they were like, oh, you seen your guardian angel and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to see them like that because it was scary. As I talked to other people, they thought, like, I see my brother's soul wandering out of his body, stuff like that. But I know what I've seen, and I didn't think it was him at the time. And I definitely was unsure about guardian angels. Not saying that you can't see one or whatever. That was pretty in your face, like, walking and showing and the details, everything. So I'm like, I'm not sure about that either. So as I got older, the experience still stuck with me, but I kind of let it, I don't want to say die, but go in the back of the mind until a few years ago. And a few years ago, I started getting like these thoughts and visions of the entity experience I just shared with you, on top of new information, new visions kind of being called or summoned to go visit the old church that we used to go to, which happened to be named St. Agnes. And so I did take a trip down there, and we visited the church and everything, which was really good to be like back where I grew up. Like, it kind of feels homey since, you know, I spent half of my life there growing up. So as I walked around the church, there are 4 marble white statues in the front of it. We always sat on the left side of the church, which has Mother Mary and Jesus on there. And so I'm familiar with that side, you know, and seeing those statues, looking at them during Mass, whatever. But we didn't never really sit on the other side, so I never really knew who was over there. Like, I know my parents had told me, like, St. Joseph was over there, and I think somebody told me St. Agnes was over there, but I didn't never go look. I never really sat down and took in what I was seeing until we went back and visited. And when we did, and I sat down and I looked up, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this whole time, that's who you are. It was St. Agnes, which I will have pictures at the end of the statue where we visited and some information on her. So she was a 13-year-old young girl that pretty much refused to deny, you know, that she was basically, she gave herself to God, and she didn't want to marry the fancy suitors that wanted her, and she kept her faith and ended up dying as a martyr for it. I have the whole, like, history I got from the web on the end here, but, like, I was 7 when I seen her, and I have to say I am probably blessed, because a lot of other people's first entity that they see or come in contact with normally isn't a holy figure, you know, on that factor, but it's usually a lot more scarier and not as nice of an entity as I looked out. So I'm still talking to St. Agnes, and there are some things that she likes to request, but I can't discuss that on here because it has to do with the Catholic Church. And we're not getting into all that. But, yeah,